It was a quiet evening in Bristol. Just after 8 p.m., shouting erupted inside a family home. Then, a sudden silence, followed by something far worse. At the top of the stairs, a small child watched in horror. Down in the kitchen, a man lay bleeding, while the woman standing over him tried to hide what had just happened. This wasn't just a fight. It was the breaking point of a relationship poisoned by jealousy, rage, and years of red flags. This is the story of Abigail White and Bradley Lewis, a young couple whose love turned deadly. Born in 1998 in Bristol, Abigail's early years were marked by abuse. She witnessed her father beat her mother, then endured abuse from her stepfather before being placed in foster care. But trauma followed her. She lashed out at school, was expelled, and by her teens turned to alcohol and cocaine. By 15, she had already attempted suicide twice. Relationships became her escape. At 16, she dated a man nearly twice her age. Later, at 19, she reconnected with Bradley Lewis, a boy she had once known at school. Abigail and Bradley's relationship moved fast. She was 19, he was 17. Soon, they had 3 children together. Brad worked full-time while Abigail stayed home, but money was tight, so she turned to OnlyFans under the name Fake Barbie. Within a year, she earned £50,000. Online, Abigail found validation, but at home, fights grew constant. She was controlling, demanding, and violent. In one nightclub incident, she beat another woman so severely she was sentenced to community service. Brad became a frequent target. Arguments often turned physical. Once, Abigail stabbed him in the leg, another time in the arm. Still, he stayed. By early 2022, their relationship was beyond repair. Both cheated, both raged with jealousy, and their children lived in constant turmoil. Brad finally considered leaving, but Abigail threatened suicide if he did, and even threatened to kill his other partners, his mother, and eventually Bradley himself. Her behavior spilled onto TikTok. She posted disturbing videos, mocking Brad and even admitting to abusing him. Friends warned Brad to get out. He told them he feared for his life. On March 18th, Abigail terminated a pregnancy, something Brad supported but hadn't decided with her. The next day, she stabbed him in the arm during an argument. To hospital staff, he lied, claiming it was an accident. Privately, Abigail admitted to a friend, "This will end one of 2 ways. Either I'll be dead or I'll end up in prison." That day, Brad met Abigail in a park and told her it was over. She stayed calm, too calm. Later, they met friends at a pub. Abigail, already drinking and using drugs, erupted when Brad arrived late. She accused him of cheating, screamed, spat at strangers, and even called police to claim she'd been assaulted. Their children watched everything. By 8 p.m., the family left. A friend gave them a ride home. On the way, Brad said something chilling, "I'm already dead." He was right. Back at the house, the fight resumed. Abigail grabbed a kitchen knife. In one swift motion, she plunged it into Brad's chest, directly into his heart. Their 3-year-old son saw it all. As Brad collapsed, Abigail didn't call for help. Instead, she tried to clean the scene, washing his shirt, scrubbing the blood. She even phoned a friend, claiming Brad had harmed himself. A neighbor, hearing the chaos, rushed over and tried CPR. Paramedics arrived, but it was too late. At just 22 years old, Bradley Lewis was gone. Arrested the same night, Abigail changed her story repeatedly. First, she claimed Brad stabbed himself, then that he forced her hand, but investigators had something stronger than her words, her son's testimony. "Mommy stabbed Daddy." Digital evidence told the same story. Days before, Abigail had searched for miscarriages, stabbings, and even how to tie a noose. In October 2022, Abigail White stood trial. The jury rejected her plea for manslaughter. She was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 18 years. Psychiatrists diagnosed Abigail with borderline personality disorder, shaped by years of trauma, but that didn't excuse her choices. Brad's family now lives with their own life sentence, raising his children without him, mourning a son, a brother, a father taken too soon. At his funeral, hundreds gathered. Memorials now stand in South Gloucestershire, honoring a young man remembered for his kindness and love for his kids. Bradley Lewis is gone, but his memory lives on. If you're a fan of true crime, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.